really like that. He was like, oh, I hosted Let's See in meeting and that kind of thing. And he was like, middle class, people. He goes, it's all like, it's like, I offer aromatherapy, I offer, whatever, and I want plumbing, I want...
And you've been telling us about the School of Everything, which is really, quite a significant internet startup, and it could be, quite world-changing. What we hope, anyway. But you've also brought us a little mini-free school here. So tell us a little bit about the big school, but then what this mini school might do.
Yeah, the School of Everything is it's basically a website to match up anybody who's got something to learn with anybody who's got something to teach. But we're very passionate about meeting face to face. We want learning to be enriched face to face by technology rather than replacing face to face learning with technological learning. So we felt that the School of Everything was extremely big. We launched internationally last week, and it's really any subject anywhere in the world. Anyone can teach anything they want, but it's all a bit unmanageable. So what we've done is kind of shrink it down to the smallest possible piece that we can create, which is what we're calling a free school. And a free school is something that you can do in any group, any little community. If you've got a pub or a cafe or a conference, which is what we're doing today, or in your workplace, just to gather information about what it is that the people who are sat next to you know about, what can they teach, and what are they interested in as well, what do they want to learn. And the simple action of saying, what is it that you can teach and what do you want to learn, brings out all of this amazing stuff that you don't know what people know, and you don't know what people need. And so what we've done today, and hopefully you'll see it on the film that David's done earlier, that we've just asked people to use post-it notes. So yellow post-it notes for I want to learn something, and green post-its for I want to teach. Stick it up on the wall. And we've already discovered that we've got a Spanish teacher, we've got 2 people who want to learn Spanish, and we've got people who are trying to teach one another funding bids, all kinds of things emerging. And just because we've shrunk it to a little community, we've asked people the question, what can you teach? And we're going to put it online as well, so we've done a little lab site to sort of play around with that. I've been hacking away at Drupal for the last 2 days, which is the first time I've ever done that. And so we're going to see how that works offline first and then online, and then hopefully we'll learn about how any group of people can turn into a school.
This is brilliant, but what did strike me when I started writing post-it notes was, in a sense, I don't know what I know until I talk to somebody about what they might be interested in.
Yeah.
So some conversations are quite important as an adjunct to this.
Vital, yeah, and it's an iterative process. What we found all the times we've done this experiment is that people write up things that they want to learn about, and then people read that, and then they start thinking, actually, I do know about that, but they won't put it up until they've had a chat, and they'll ask, so, okay, you want to learn about writing funding bids, well, what is it that you really want to do? And then they find out through conversation, oh yeah, I could probably help you. So what we've done on here, obviously people can talk face to face, but what we've done on the site that we've built is to allow messaging and threaded discussion, but it's all centered around that supply and demand really within a local community. But the conversations are absolutely vital. It has to be social.
So this seems to me a really neat way of joining up the face-to-face and the online rather than having it's either or. So you can have a little bit of a social or a workshop or whatever where people chat to each other and do the post-it notes and then move online.
Yeah, and that's going to be the really interesting thing we'll learn from this experiment is how does the web enrich our face-to-face conversations? How does it enrich our local communities? And getting that link between the two is a really important thing, I think, that we need to get as internet developers now.
And I was hearing a bias towards getting people away from screens rather than more onto screens.
Yes, we're a web company who hate the internet. We don't like websites, which is slightly perverse. But we're very passionate about getting people together, a bit like Meetup, where it's about how do we, in the same way that the internet has broadened our world and made it much bigger, how do we also use those tools to enrich our local world and make the world smaller again? So how do I find out what the people around me know? How do I walk down the street and feel that I'm connected to the people around me rather than it just always getting bigger? We can use the internet to expand our world, but we can also use it to shrink it back down again and interact in a very old-fashioned way, and that's what I'm passionate about.